Ice on 3, 1, 2, 3, ice!
Ready. Okay.
Energy on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Football fans, here we go. We're playing Trigg County down at Trigg County. I know we played them there last year, but this is a COVID pickup game, if you will. And we're going to go back down to Trigg County. It's a team that the Rockets have beaten the last 3 times we played them. And quite frankly, they've been a bit lopsided in those wins. But it's a team that over the history of the series, not so good, 11-29-1 against the Wildcats. And it's perfectly split, 7-7. The last 14 games, Coach Courtney. I know. How was it when you played Trigg back in the 06, 7, 8?
Never played them.
Never played?
Yeah, we were in that stretch where we never played them. They were a good team then, though. They were a really solid football team. It probably could have been some good games, but no, we never had the opportunity to play them.
Of course, it is a team we've played a great deal over the history of the two schools. In fact, the first game we played was in 1957, the year of consolidation. So they go all the way back to the beginning of Courtney County High School Rocket football. But this year, the Wildcats are 4-3 overall, but really 3-3 because they had a COVID win. And I know there's some convoluted formula whether you get a win or a loss in that COVID, or it doesn't count at all. You want to weigh in on any of that?
I wish that I could bring some clarity to it, but really, there's a lot of questions about it. But basically, I mean, the way it's set up, if you have a COVID and it's your fault and you get a loss, that's the way they want it to be. There are some ways around it if both teams agree, but haven't seen much of them. We were lucky with Murray being cool to us and being the beginning of the year that they did do that.
And we did not get a loss.
And we didn't get a loss because of ours. And I think a lot of it had to do with happening that first week, and then we would both have opportunities to play in our bye week, and we were both okay with that. So I think that they didn't think it was fair for us to get a loss with it being out of our control. So I think it's possible not to get a loss, but mostly what we're seeing is that with it, especially this time of the year, win-loss.
Well, the Wildcats, so really on the field, between the lines, they're 3-3. They have lost to Todd County Central 56-28, lost to Murray 28-20, and lost last week to Coach Thompson's Paducah Tillman team 49-18. Their wins have been against Fulton County, Fort Campbell, and Warren Central, and together all 3 of those teams have 1 win between them. So the teams that they have beaten, not real strong, but they play a pretty tough schedule.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of a scary football team. They got athletes all over. They have some good pieces. In a lot of ways, I think they're like us, that they haven't put it together, that they struggle. Watching the Paducah Tillman team, which is a good Paducah Tillman team, they're kind of playing with them a little bit and just too many turnovers early, just too many mistakes. But it's not necessarily that they're just a bad football team or don't have talent out there to play with them. It's just not consistent enough playmaking and just too many mistakes early to stay in games against a team like Tillman. But they definitely have some ability and a team that if we don't come out ready to play, that could beat us.
Yeah, against Tillman, it was running clock, I believe, in the second quarter.
Yes.
But that said, Kenny Adams, who is kind of their playmaker, their go-to guy, offensively and defensively, really, he went out with a shoulder separation, I believe, and actually came back, was on the sideline. We don't really know his status for this week. We assume he'll play. We'll assume it's something that he's recovering from. Do you have any idea on that?
No, we're not 100% sure. Did hear about it, but we just hope for the best for him. We don't ever want that to happen with any kid or any team. And for obviously his personal health and for us as a team, we don't want anybody to be out that we're going to play if I think that gives us an advantage. We don't take pride in that. So we hope that we're at full strength and healthy.
Kenny's super kid too. Just a wonderful young man, and I hope he's all right. and hope we see him on the football field. But he can do some damage. He's a pretty good player, Coach.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the best players. Concerns me as a coach is just our ability to stop a big running back that we have. That's something that we've shown to struggle with, and something that he is. So I like that it's another test for us, though, another chance to say that we can do that. But up to this point, honestly, we haven't shown that we can do that consistently. So it'll be a big task for us, but if we just do our job and do what we're coached to do, I think that we'll be okay.
We're going to play a team quarterback is 50%. He's thrown, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of 130, 140 passes. He's completed about half of those. So good quarterback. The Weiss boy wears number 1. He's been around a long time, and he's pretty talented young man.
Yeah, we like him. He can really make some good throws. We've seen him scrimmage this year, and have seen him on film a couple of times. He can make any throw at times. It looks really good. Probably be one of the better passing teams that we saw this year. I like their receiving core across the board as well. All 4 of them are dangerous, and he can spread it out pretty evenly through them, which makes it tough to cover. But yeah, once again, same as last week. We'll see. It's pretty similar type offense. What we're going to see. There's a lot of similarities in actually Bethlehem and Trigg, and a lot of things they do from special teams to offense. So it'd be the same type game, I would think.
Yeah, number 22 is a good player, Parham, and if Kenny's out, he's kind of their feature guy too. I'd say.
And they use him a lot anyway. And honestly, I was looking through my scouting report that I make each week, and he was number 2 on the scouting report last year when they were using him heavily as their F. So he's definitely a very capable kid. They give you different looks, but I'm not sure that 22 doesn't. He's just as capable back as Kenny is. He's good too. So it doesn't really necessarily make them worse, just different, regardless of who's back there.
And they have a couple of receivers that are kind of ahead of the pack, the Shear boy and Jaden Vaughn, who's been around a while too. But then they've got both those guys are around 200 plus yards receiving. But then they've got about 5 or 6 other guys that are up there in 100 plus.
Right. Yeah, those 2 guys, you can see they take a few more shots to them, but it is pretty even, and they got a lot of guys that can make the same type plays. The Vaughn kid's tall and athletic and fast. He looks a little different, just physically than the rest of them. But really, they're all pretty good.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna cut our part of the show a little short today, and we're going to visit with Luke Kreider and Dylan Yates, who are here in the studio, and we're going to take an opportunity to hear from the players, something we haven't done in a while here on the Coaches Show. Coach Courtney and I were talking last week. We've kind of just talked about nearly everything we know to even address, and after 6 or 7 games, give these guys an opportunity to talk about what it's like to be on the field, and then gets them an opportunity to be in front of the camera a little bit, and gets them prepared for maybe when they go on to the next level.
That's right. Yeah, it's good for them to get out there, and I'm sure that the audience would like to hear their side of things and what they're going through. You get to see them out there playing, but some people may not know them and get a chance to hear them talk. And 2 great young men that I think a lot of, so it'll be good.
Well, let's talk just briefly about the Trigg County's defense and what we can do to exploit some things there offensively.
They're a 3-3 defense, which is what we are. They do it a little bit different with that odd front, but I don't think that there'll be just one glaring thing like that. We can just run the ball, or we can just throw the ball. We'll have to stay balanced against them. They're pretty evenly matched. Their D-line, their linebackers, their secondary. There's no, I don't think, big weakness or big strength necessarily in those. They're just solid, from each level. So we'll try to stay balanced. We'll do what we do and hopefully execute. That's what the trouble's been, right, on the offense. That's what we feel. Just execution's not necessarily been there. So we're going to keep it simple, and we're just going to execute our stuff.
Mm-hmm. Anything? I know the last couple of weeks we've gone from little Preston Morganson rushing for a big outing, and then last week not as much. Couldn't run the ball quite as well against Bethlehem as we have. Anything on the rushing side? Any of these new guys? We still going to see any different numbers or anything, or just we're going with what we got?
I think we'll go with what we got. I don't think it's necessarily a personnel thing. I think it's just more of an execution thing. Yeah.
So this game this week is going to be a little bit different as far as tickets go. I've never seen this ticket vendor before, but it's called GoTicketsPicket.com, and we will have that link on the RocketsFootball.com and the Courtney Press website. if you want to go down to that football game. And plans are for us to show that game on YouTube live if Trigg County will permit it. Still waiting to hear back, get confirmation from them. But we're planning to take the Rocket football crew down there and show that game on YouTube for those of you who can't make it or reluctant to go because of the COVID. So follow the Rockets on Twitter and rocketsfootball.com. Coach, I believe I hear an alarm going off somewhere.
Must be time. They're cutting us off.
Must be time for us to knock this out. Coach Courtney, excited to talk with your guys. Excited for the Rockets to get back on the field this week. So let's go down to Trigg County and get a W.
Let's do it.
All right, now we've got Luke Kreider, number one quarterback for the Rockets the past 3 seasons, or the better part of the last 3 seasons. Luke Kreider's a senior, and we're going to talk a little bit with him about some of his memories in football since he was younger and his senior class. And we're going to talk a little bit about his arm being sore because he's been throwing the ball around quite a bit. First of all, we want to recognize our sponsors. And Luke said he was going to read these for me, but he felt like maybe I had them more memorized than he did. But we appreciate Whitetail Properties, as always, our corporate sponsor. Frazier Law Firm, Moments in Time Pictures, that's Reese Baker. Riley Tool and Machine, Hodge Sports and Apparel on Sturgis Road. Farmers Bank and Trust on the street corner there since 1899. Big story about Farmers Bank in the press this week. Read it. Deer Lakes Golf Course down in Salem. First United Bank. La Delicia Mexican Restaurant, Ellington Detailing, Homestead Auction Realty, Sea Plant Federal Credit Union, H&H Home and Hardware. Don't forget about the Fall Festival coming up down there. Full Body Fitness Studio, that's Serena Dickerson. Par 4 Plastics, Magnolia Bank, that's Derek Myers, the Boom Man. Mulligan's Pizzeria and Pub and the golf course there at the Heritage. And Colonel Ag Repair, anything, everybody's out right now working in their fields or putting their lawnmowers away. These guys can work on all that stuff, get it ready, winterize your equipment if you need it. Or right now, a lot of farmers using their equipment, aren't they, Luke? Yeah. Be careful out there driving. YTG Insurance, that's Tanner Tabor. Shara on the New York Stock Exchange, Mike and Stoner's Barbershop, and Marion Eye Care Center, Dr. Adria Porter. Luke Kreider, 4-year senior. You guys have been playing football since you were in 3rd grade, started out Little League. Well, you guys played flag.
Yeah, so we were flag and the grade above us was flag.
Yeah, so what is your greatest memory? I'm sure it was somewhere in flag football, right?
My dad actually coached my flag football team, and he was kind of the one that put me at quarterback originally. I think we were the Vanderbilt, yeah. And, yeah, so the grade above us and then us were the second group of flag football, if I'm right. Mm-hmm. And so best memory through it all, I don't know if it would be the junior pro and Little League. It's kind of, football's changed since then, honestly, kind of how it's played. Back then, I didn't take a shotgun snap until middle school, and then middle school I didn't take an under center snap, and I haven't been under center, so I guess we did last Friday, we did one, but it's been a while, so I guess football's kind of changed. I kind of think sophomore year coming in, that was fun for me, just playing varsity for the first time. It's fun for everyone. So.
Of course, I was around you a little bit in Little League football, and it's some of the guys that were around that you were handing the ball to are not around anymore, but you've got a lot of new faces on the team. Who are some guys that maybe are out there now that didn't even play Little League football with you? Yeah,
it feels pretty common now for guys to, end up playing football right at the end. I think they realize, maybe I should have been playing the whole time. Maddox Carlson, he didn't play this year. He's baseball. I've been seeing he's been doing really good at baseball, actually. Yeah, baseball coach. So, we gained Logan Bailey, actually. That was in middle school, I think, when he came here. Came here in middle school. He's been really good for us on actually both sides of the ball. Now I know most people think he's a defensive guy, but he plays some offense for us too, and he's doing really good. Threw a touchdown pass to him Friday. Hayden Adamson, he's playing this year. This is his first year back since middle school. Kind of the Ben Dobbins effect. Come in your senior year and come back and play and produce for us. And so just guys like that have came along through the way.
Bryson Baker.
Yeah, Bryson Baker. He was off and on. He played in middle school a little bit. Yeah. And then I think he took a year off or two somewhere in there and finally back with us. And, he's another big playmaker for us, offensive player of the week last week. He's a guy I can count on.
And little Preston Morganson, he played in Little League, but he really played more defense. He wasn't quite the offensive weapon that he's become now.
Yeah, he's always been an athlete. If you watch Preston play any sport, anything, he can do it all. He's really gifted.
Yeah, a lot of fun times when you think back over your career. And the Yates boy, what's his first? Dylan Yates, I believe. He's a pretty good ball player. We're going to have. He's sitting over here listening. We're going to have him on in just a minute. He's a guy that has worked his hind end off and made himself one of the best football players in West Kentucky, hasn't he?
Yeah, Dylan, especially growing up with him, he's always been a good personality to be around. I think physically he kind of came on just a little bit later. I mean, in junior pro he was always really good and everything, but I think it really started to show. I mean, he was playing freshman year, I think, actually. He was playing, so it's been pretty obvious since the beginning that he's been able to be someone that can play for us.
Now, your evolution as a quarterback, as we said early on, more of a handed-off type of guy. And now you have become one of the most prolific passers in school history. Broke the single-game record last week for most completions in a game, most attempts in a game. Became the third quarterback in history to throw for over 300 yards in a game with 302. And in the last 2 games, you've thrown 72 passes. That's the most Crittenden County's ever thrown the ball in 2 consecutive games. So that's, I think, testimony to your ability as a quarterback. But you guys have kind of centered on that. That's your persona, and you've taken that on. And talk a little bit about that. And as well as, you've been tucking the ball and running. I think the defenses are starting to certainly take note, and they're taking a shot at you too, aren't they?
Yeah. I'd probably protect myself a little better. No, I think it's nice to throw the ball a little bit. You said growing up we didn't really do that a whole lot. I don't remember throwing the ball much in junior pro at all.
It's tough in junior pro to throw the ball here.
Yeah, and especially me. I was definitely a late bloomer. I remember sophomore year when I came in, I definitely wasn't what I am now at all. And so over the years, I've definitely grown. I think this summer was kind of my physical, mental jump. And it's crazy that you say that about my completions and attempts or whatever. I'd like to break the completions without having to break the attempts record, but
sure.
No, yeah, it's just crazy to think that and think how much better we can be. Because I mean, I do not feel like we're playing to what we can be. Going back, watching the games back, it's like, man, like the opportunities. It might look like whatever I'm doing good, decent, but I think we can be a lot better for sure.
All quarterbacks like to talk about their linemen, and always you buy them a steak dinner. I know the pro quarterbacks do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take care of your linemen.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't bought them a steak dinner yet. We have to wait on that one a little bit, but. Up front, they're a really good experienced. A lot of times, mix them with protection and stuff. Me and Ben, Ben's kind of in charge of all that up there, but we do a great job communicating, and they got to see a lot of the same stuff that I see, so we can make the checks and get the protection right. And a lot of the times, I feel like people, scream block, block, block when I get sacked, but, a lot of the times that's actually on me. Sometimes I need to move one way or call the protection out another way or get the ball out of my hands. So we're not good if the ball's in my hands in the backfield. So
yeah, particularly last one, I thought most of the sacks probably were coverage blocks or a good number of them anyway.
Yeah.
Talk about some of those guys just individually and your relationship with them, those guys up front.
It moves around a little bit. I'll try and go left to right. I think now Dylan is playing left tackle. He played right tackle. He kind of moved him to guard. He basically played everywhere but center. So wherever we need him, that's kind of your blind spot. So it's nice to know I got someone there I can count on. I can always count on. Been playing with them forever. Mm-hmm. And then at left guard, we got Tucker Sharp. And, Tucker really came on this year, just kind of taking over being like a mental dog, really imposing his will on people and being smarter. Because really, you have to be really smart up front. We get a lot of different looks, a lot of different fronts. And then at center, I've got Ben. He's been my center forever, as long as I can remember, since third grade. Yeah, your son. So me and him have a great relationship.
You're not supposed to say that in public that he's my son. It's kind of a well-kept secret.
Yeah, no. Ben's been really good for us. I think especially this year. I know Coach Brown, he said he's really stepped up this week and kind of turned to the player that we always thought he could be. And not saying that he wasn't good before, but he's just really came on. And then at right guard, I think we've got Deacon Holloman now. And Deacon's, he's a junior, so he'll be there next year too. But Deacon's really good. He can be really, really good when he wants to be and really put people on. And then at right tackle, we got Holden Cooksey, and he's been kind of out at the start, but now he's back. I think he's fully back in it with the little hand injury. But no, he's something I can count on. He's big. He can move a little bit now. He can really move now, especially more than he used to. So I've got a good group of 5 in front of me.
Mm-hmm. And Counts has been out. He played a little bit up front.
Yeah. When Counts went out, we were kind of messing with him a little bit. We didn't know how serious the injury was, and his MRI got delayed a little. So we were kind of messing with him. Oh, Counts to put on the pads, and he came back, and he has a broken, I'm not sure what it was.
Tibia.
Broken tibia. Yeah, he had a broken tibia. So it sucks. That sucks. Just the way his year's been, because he was really starting to get better and get the mental side of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're down the final stretch with quarterback Luke Kreider at the helm, and looking for more great play out of him in the next 3 weeks as we close out regular season and get ready for the playoffs. Luke Kreider, that's when we got to shine.
Yeah, it really is. I think this last stretch of the year, we're about to put it together.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be back in just a moment, and we're going to visit with Dylan Yates, the Big D. All right, welcome Dylan Yates to the program. It's great to have you guys on the Coaches Show today and be able to talk about Rocket football, give our viewers something just a little different. By this point in the season, Coach Courtney and we've about covered everything that we know to talk about, and it's just refreshing to have a new look, and I appreciate you and Luke Kreider coming by today. So let's start out. Let's talk about Luke Kreider, okay? He talked a little bit about you and some of your teammates up front. Let's talk about Luke and his maturation as a quarterback here in his senior year. He already has a college scholarship offer and really putting a lot of records in the book.
Oh, yeah. He's someone we can all depend on. And, coming down the stretch, I remember sophomore year, him coming in and just seeing the transition from sophomore year, what were you, like 120 pounds? And, he's gotten bigger, he's gotten stronger, he's gotten faster, everything he's supposed to do, but also his mental game has gone up. He's not one of those quarterbacks who's going to try and go for a bomb every time, and he's not going to just go and trying to hit a slant every time. He's really diverse in what he can hit. He's just someone I know we can count on. He can sit in the pocket and be patient, or he can run it. So I think he's just developed into someone we can really count on, someone the offense really needs this year.
His running game, the past few, at least this season, really the whole season, he's been more apt to break out of that pocket. And does he get black and blue a little bit now?
Oh, I don't know. I guess he does, but man, he's running it. He's running. I get excited when I see him run it because I know he's going to get about 8 yards every time. Yeah. I mean, he's going to get us a first down usually. He's been doing a great running. I see him lower that shoulder too. Mm-hmm. He's not trying to step out of bounds most of the time. He's not afraid, so I love that. I love watching him run.
It looks like a lot of the defense too are taking a shot at him when he's running downfield. Do you get a little weak spot in your stomach on that?
Oh no, he eats it up. Yeah. He eats it up, but he stands right up. Yeah. He's like a champ. So.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk just a little bit about you and where your mind is as far as beyond high school. I know you have some aspirations to play college football, and you've had some schools talking to you. Are you in a position where you can talk about some of those right now?
Well, I appreciate every school that's talked to me, every school that's offered me, been in contact with me. They've been helping me so much, talking to me and everything, invite me to game day visits, everything like that. And I appreciate them, but right now, it's just going to see what the end of the season looks like. It's a lot to think about right now. I'm just trying to focus on the season. But I am very thankful for all them colleges and everyone who's talked to me.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, you were chosen as I believe the Gridiron Glory, WPSD, the Channel 6 number 4 player in West Kentucky. And I know that's a feather in your cap. And when you get some notoriety like that, a lot of coaches start calling, don't they? Texting you. They tweet it now a lot, don't they? How are they communicating with you?
That's horrible. Well, not them reaching out to me, but the recruiting game where you're trying to send your huddle to Twitter and you're sending it to like 400 coaches and you get like 2 replies. It's not like Alabama's calling me, which not saying they should, but it's I kind of wish it was back in the old days where I could just send like a VHS tape out, and huddle. Mm-hmm. They pop it in and see if they like it or not. Yeah. But it's not my forte, but it's still something you got to do, got to work with, and. The ones you have talked to me, thank you, because you made it a lot easier. So.
But you really want to play college football, don't you?
Oh yeah, I love football. I love everything about it. I love competing. I love being with my brothers and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk just a little bit about your career, and Luke Kreider touched on it a bit. What do you see as your evolution as a football player from the time you started to where you are now? Where did that switch go off? Because people talk about that switch that goes off. When did it go off for you that you became a potential college football player?
Well, I played junior pro. I didn't play flag, so I told my mom I wanted to wait to hit. But it wasn't like that. Like 3rd and 4th grade, I wasn't really, I wasn't anything. And then fifth grade, I really wasn't. I mean, I'd skip. I told my mom I was sick. I was one of them kind of, But sixth grade, as you know, my brother played as well.
Right.
He was a pretty good defensive tackle, wherever they put him. But we were running one day because he was running, trying to get in shape in summer off season. He told me, he looked at me, and he said, "Whatever you do, just put effort and hard work into it. Whatever you want." And I could see how motivated he was for his team, how worked hard for his team, and that just really corresponded with me. So ever since that day, I turned it on. Sixth grade's the first year I really tried to turn it on. Middle school, I got in the weight room and everything. Ever since then, just doing the things I need to do to help my team.
I'll never forget this, and I think this is when I saw the switch come up. Of course, I helped coach the football team, the Little League team back then, and I'll never forget it. It was one day at practice, and you remember we kind of started the practice with some of those drills. I think we called it bull in the ring or something. And
Illegal now, but
yeah, it probably is. But here when we did that, you put a couple of guys kind of in a circle in between some dummies, and you it's kind of like a sumo wrestling match, and the biggest, strongest guy throws, and it's like a tournament, and Dylan Yates was the guy that won the drill that day. And I remembered Donnie Beverly and I and some other Trent Guest, some other coaches were just saying, yeah, here comes Dylan. He's a beast now, and he's coming on. And that's what I remember seeing it. And from that day forward, man, you were the guy you are now, or in process. The work and progress began. But really proud of your career, proud of what you do outside of the lines as well. A lot of people probably know Dylan's been very active in scouting, and he's getting ready to do some work out at the park, his Eagle Scout project. And earning an Eagle Scout is no easy chore, and a lot of pride in what he's been able to do outside of football and in the classroom too. So, Dylan Yates, thank you for being on with us today.
Thank you.